trading in picks and also your own guys. And I thought the Nets actually did a decent job of Durant and Irving it seemed like, to embrace the young guys on this team, while at the same time they were bringing their own flair. And Kyrie had his crap that he's from Jersey and yada yada yada. But I mean, this is now for a fan base. I got a text message from multiple fans basically saying, from Nets fans, from basketball fans, like all of them basically saying, like, and specifically from Nets fans saying, like, I have no connection to this team. I have no feel for it. I have no interest in watching them. And I do think, like, I know these are all small examples, and like if you learn anything in like basic science, it's like the sample size should be bigger. But like, I think it is pretty telling that all of us are pretty much like, dude, we actually liked what you like. Marks, like, we weren't obsessed with what you had, but like we were impressed with what you had built, and we thought it just needed a little bit of tinkering. What we didn't think it needed was a new engine and a new front seat, a new back, like all these things. I mean, that's what I honestly find upsetting about it.
So let me read the list of the current Nets: Kevin Durant,
Yep.
James Harden,
Yep.
Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris, Landry Shamet, Tyler Johnson, TLC, Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, Nick Claxton, Reggie Perry, Chris Chiozza, and Spencer Dinwiddie-ish. Oh, that's a hell of a drop-off. I mean, Joe Harris and DeAndre Jordan. Joe Harris is a great player. But DeAndre Jordan is the Mendoza line for this team. After DeAndre Jordan, it's pure garbage. Is this a championship team?
I mean, I like, it's funny because I don't really know how to respond to that because I think me and you feel pretty similarly in that we don't really have that much respect for the other teams in the East. And so because of that, I'm not sold. I mean, look, the one thing I will say, by the way, is if you're Ben Simmons and you're Maxey and you're Thibault on the Sixers, like, you are basically on the verge of being dealt today. So, like, I don't know how the rest of the season goes with that team. Like, but that's the thing I was most nervous about with this trade not happening was LeVert, Allen, all these guys. I don't know, like, if Kyrie was in any of these deals. I assume not. Like, I mean, all those players now think that they're going to be dealt. But to go to your question, I mean, yeah, like, I think this team can absolutely make it to the finals and play presumably the Lakers. And they'll basically be playing an opposite style that the Lakers play. And I think it's possible, but I also think there's a lot of carnage that happens from this, and I don't think it's weird to me that Sean Marks, who is so meticulous and keeps things so under wraps and has really made this like a long, tough rebuild and stuff like that. Like, considering where he really came from ground zero, like, he is right back where he started, man. Like, I hope he remembers what it was like 4 or 5 years ago getting the job and, like, realizing what he had to do to get out of the hole that Billy King created.
This is a Knick fantasy. If you are, this is the ultimate going Knick. If, like, no one would want to take the Knicks' money in their prime. Like, the Knicks have never been able to do something like what the Nets have just accomplished. But at the same time, this is a Knick. This is Knick-ish. This is Knickism.
Yep.
I can't even explain what this is, but this is tragic for me. Like, I don't like this team. I don't recognize this team. I don't know if these are the people I want to celebrate a championship with. As much as I love KD, but KD isn't a Brooklyn Net for me.
Oh wait, I want to ask you something, by the way. And I know you're in the middle of saying something, but I want to ask you a question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, like, gun to your head. If Kyrie Irving had not gone on whatever he's gone on in the last 2 weeks, do you think? And let's say Harden still has that press conference yesterday. Do you, everything else in the world being the same, even impeachment, everything? Do you think do you think that this deal still happens?
I have such a bad sense of what's going on over there. Like, I don't recognize these people. I don't
And I only ask that because I
because
have to tell you right now,
mm-hmm.
if this trade happened because they wanted Kyrie insurance, then that is one of the stupidest ideas of all time. The notion that you're gonna get Kyrie insurance by getting another superstar, which is basically doubling down on a mistake you've already made, would be one of the dumbest things. And would my infuriation for Kyrie aside, it would look like such a panic move, and would be so upsetting that's what the Nets felt like they needed to do. Because as we saw yesterday, if like this team can even without Kyrie, the team can compete. You could have traded. Last time I checked, the 7 picks they gave up in this deal weren't playing in the game yesterday. You could have traded them for people.
I didn't even think about that.
Like I just
what if they know that Kyrie? What if Kyrie told them, "I don't think I want to play basketball anymore," and this was the reaction to that? That's tinfoil hat shit right now. Like I'm hoping that's crazy talk. But if that is the case, it's like the Sean Marks might have just bombed us back to Baghdad. Think about this. We spent all these years suffering, hoping to find a way out of the hole that was the Boston Celtics trade. And somehow, we built a great little team. You know, and it had the perfect blend. Superstars with a core that defined the team. And now we have James Harden, DeAndre Jordan. I just don't see the logic in this. I don't see the purpose, the intent. Okay, if it fails, right? It could fail. Like Kyrie could get injured, and
KD can get injured.
Wow. Like if KD blew his Achilles, and I'm sitting at a handmade wooden desk, knocking on wood, but this is how perilous this whole trade is. At least you could come back from a KD injury before. Now KD blows his Achilles, you're done. And not only are you done, you are in the luxury tax.
No, they're in the absolute gutter.
You're finished. I mean, I understand pushing all of your chips into the table, having the cojones to get something done, but you didn't just trade your team's identity and what made you the Brooklyn Nets, which is you like to think is more than the laundry, right? But you just traded all of your future and all of your future after that. You've damned us to a generation. My son will be who's 8 years old, will be entering high school.
Yep.
When this could start to be fixed. $47 million in the last year of James Harden's contract. $44 million next year. I gotta believe he's gonna be great, right? Like he looked like me. Like he looked fat NBA players who were fat in their early years always get injured in the end. We have 3 ticking time bombs. Our team is built on 3 ticking time bombs. Oh my fucking God. Sean Marks just signed us all into an insane game of Russian roulette.
Can I also ask you something? How is it possible? I'm just so curious about this. This is just becoming an unbelievable like vent anger session. How is it possible that they didn't at least get back our friend PJ Tucker in the deal?
Because that would be smart.
Like that on its own is almost mind blowing. Like
I keep telling people, and I know that there's some people who are celebrating today. We got all the clout. We won the clout. We won the clout contest. Our likes and our and our national TV spots are about to go up. What the fuck is this?
I do wonder, by the way, you know the inner workings of the Barclays Center and people pulling the strings a little way more than I do. Do you think at all, because as we found out in the years after and all those long form articles that came out about the Nets Pierce Garnett trade, we ended up finding out that a lot of that actually wasn't as much Billy King and was a lot of Prokhorov. So my question to you is, do you think Cy has his finger on this stuff?
He has to. He has to, but Sean Marks has incredible amount of power. He is the associate or either associate or assistant governor. The governor is the term that refers for the team's owner.
Yep.
So Cy basically said, that's when you talk to Sean Marks, you're talking to me. But to agree to, I don't even know if Cy knows, or because that's the thing. I'll push back on the Prokhorov thing. See, I listened to Prokhorov when he talked.
Yep.
And basically, what I heard Prokhorov saying over the years as the Nets owner was, I've won championships in Europe. The way we do it in Europe is we throw as much money as possible, and voila, CSK Moscow championship. Then I grow the value of the team, and then I flip it to somebody who's as rich as me or more sports crazy. And he said, "Oh, you're the guy who took Allen Iverson to the finals? Look at this smart black guy from Duke. For a Russian, he thought, yes, this guy knows what he's doing." And he trusted him. And Billy King looked at what happened in the playoffs and overreacted. A more experienced, older team slapped a younger team with a hobble superstar that they depended on. And he pushed the button. He pushed the panic button. And he destroyed the team. And the comedy of what's happening to the Nets right now is we could be looking back at this and going, how could you have seen the titties on James Harden and said, you know what? I'm going to trade my entire team for that guy. Are we serious, Sam? Is this reality? Is this happening? Sam, am I alone here?
I also have to tell you, this is also a side. I also have to tell you, I think all of this and what's going on, I think he had a good 7-year run. I think Adam Silver's got some bad crap going within this league. I think they're clearly, they completely botched the handling of COVID so far this year, but also the players demanding deals and then not playing and getting heavy so that they can get moved. Players leaving and not telling their team what's going on. I'm as much for player empowerment as the next guy, but there's levels to it, and this is just I don't know. I think I think this league is not going in the direction that I think a lot of people would want to see it go, and I think it's going in a direction that